Hey, thanks for coming by, Tori Magoo 44. Today is the 13th. It's Friday the 13th. Let me put on my horns. It's Friday the 13th. Ooh. And I'm wearing my horns in honor of Scientology and their actual abuses that they do. This is a new series that I have called Fleecing, Scientology Fleecing, and how they fleece people. And a couple of big ways is one, they declare people like me suppressive. That's why I had on my red horns. I wore them as a joke when I left because I knew they would lie and say, oh, she's just out there handling the critics. So I wore my horns saying, no, I'm not handling the critics. I'm with the critics. And I also wore them to make fun of this because I knew they'd declare me suppressive. They hadn't then. For anybody in order to be declared suppressive, you're supposed to have ethics, you're supposed to have a fitness board, you're supposed to have a committee of evidence. I had none of that. They just declared me. That was it. And they do it all the time. That's under David Miscavige. That's the way things are. I'm not saying it's right. It isn't right. It isn't right at all. It isn't. I'm not in agreement with it in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe it. I'm not saying there's no suppressives on the planet, but the amount that they have, L. Ron Hubbard said there's 2.5%. Now it's about 80% are suppressive. Most of us are out of the church and declared, and there's a little tiny percent that are still in the church. So you figure that one out. Now let's go over this. This is one of the key ways they fleece people with the way to happiness. They used to get doctors, dentists, chiropractors to pay for this little booklet to be passed around. Now I'm reading on the back, and guess who's? This is a gift from Nancy Cartwright, spokesperson for The Simpsons, right? Bart Simpson. And she says, this cover features our nonprofit group, Happy House, and it has nothing to do with the Church of Scientology. Well, that I doubt, because the Way to Happiness used to always have to report their statistics up to the same group that the Church of Scientology does. It's all under the same umbrella. You prove me wrong if I'm wrong on it. But even if I am, let's go through some of their basic principles in here. Okay? They say, all right, it talks about children. Love and help children. Now, that's a great thing, unless you're declared suppressive. Or your parents are even antagonistic to Scientology. They don't want you to do it. What happens then? Kids literally are not talking to their parents at all. It's just like, sorry, disconnected, too bad. And I talk to those families all the time. And if you're in and you're lurking and you hear me, call your parents. You never know how long they're going to last. My father died when I was 22 years old. He was 51. He had a perfect physical, said they was perfectly healthy, walked in the door, had a heart attack, he died. That was it. So people that can't talk to their parents, that's abusive. It is. It's not right. Your parents aren't evil. I talk to them all the time. They're not evil. They are not. You need to word clear evil and understand what it is, because the fact that they don't agree with the Church of Scientology does not mean they are evil. And you should have a relationship with them, and this is the same for the parents. You should have a relationship with your children separate from the Church of Scientology. They want to do it, that's their thing. But both of you should be able to come together. And that's what L. Ron Hubbard said. Can't we be friends? Remember that? What happened to that? Okay, honor and help your parents, right? Okay, that includes, they don't say except for the suppressive people. They say honor and help your parents. So that's another one. Set a good example. You guys are setting some of the worst examples ever. And that's why you have critics all around the world. Seek to live with the truth. I'm not just making these up. These are their things. They're not living with the truth. They can't even look at the truth. The people that are in the Church of Scientology cannot look at both sides. Wherever you are, if you cannot look at both sides, think about it. The people that founded our country, fought for freedom, for their rights, for your right to free speech. So don't let someone cut it off. Okay, don't do anything illegal. They do things that are illegal. In the Office of Special Affairs, they definitely do. If they're not illegal, they're immoral. Let's just at least say that. And I don't, borderline illegal, but definitely immoral, not right. Support the government designed to run for all the people. That's funny for me, because they used to have people send around letters on who we should vote for and stuff like that. Do not harm a person of goodwill. Well, they harm me. They've harmed me. They lie about me all the time. They have complete libel up on the internet. Now people say, why don't you sue them? Because L. Ron Hubbard said, get him in court, keep him in court, bankrupt him. And no thank you, not what I want to do. Safeguard and improve your environment. Very good principle. Here it is, right in the way to happiness. But what happened at Flag when I was there the last time? They were pitching out the bottles. They used tons and tons of paper. They still send out their magazines with the glossy, thick things. They send out letters to people all around the world that do not want they're false statistics, Scientology. They are. I wrote it up to RTC. It's bad news. We used to get 4 of those glossy printed magazines in one household. Okay, be worthy of trust. Well, are you worthy of trust when you're lying about people, when you're breaking up families? Fulfill your obligations. Sounds good, but again, L. Ron Hubbard said, if you want to leave the Church of Scientology, you can get your money back. Will you guys give us our money back? Hell no. You're not fulfilling your obligations. Be competent. Okay, that's a good one. I'll give you that. A lot of people I know are. But what is competence really? Does it just entail you or everybody? Respect the religious beliefs of others. You guys don't do that at all. You lie through your teeth. You say you do. You say you're non-denominational. But in truth, it's Scientology or nothing. Come on over. Will you guys come over? I've asked you to come over for 10 years. Come on over, Bill Yachty. Come on over. Let's talk about this. We'll do it on tape. We'll discuss it. I'm willing to talk about it. Why aren't you guys? Try not to do things to others that you would not like them to do unto you. Well, maybe that's something that you guys who put this way to happiness out could be thinking about, because you do stuff to people all the time that you wouldn't want done to you. Okay? So this is your own way to happiness that you can't apply at all. So you want to get this out to governments? That's what it says. Oh, you can reprint this and get it out to governments and political figures. Oh, yeah, right. Try to treat others as you would want them to treat you. Right. Okay, and flourish and prosper. Yeah, but flourishing and prospering, again, has to do with all of us. It doesn't have to do with just your little group. And if your group is flourishing, it's great. And if anybody else isn't, tough luck. Tough luck. So do they threaten fair game? Someone had written me and asked me to tell about that. I've made many videos about it. Yes, absolutely they do. It starts with keeping Scientology working. You've got to know the tech, keep the tech in, blah, 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 blah. And, it's a very slippery slope that you start out with. People say, well, I would never agree to that. Well, neither would I. Neither would anybody. You start out with a very general, it's very nice, very friendly. That's why I call it the Truman Show. Come on in. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. But as you go up, the Church of Scientology's bridge to total freedom, those other freedoms are cut off inch by inch, mile by mile. And here's the bottom line for you lurking. I can say read both sides, because I know and I have complete confidence. If you read both sides, you're going to make up your mind what's right for you. But the church can never say that, because if you know both sides, there's a good chance a lot of you are going to walk out that door. All right? So I hope you have a wonderful weekend and do something fun. Bye-bye.